Welcome to How to Decorate from Ballard Designs, a weekly podcast all about the trials and triumphs of decorating and redecorating your home. I'm Caroline. I'm on the marketing team.
And I'm Taryn, and I'm a product designer.
I'm Liz. I head up the creative team.
We're your hosts. Join the expert team at Ballard Designs for tips, tricks, and tales from interior designers, stylists, and other talents in the design world.
Plus, we'll answer your decorating dilemmas at the end of each episode.
We love answering your questions, so don't forget to email us at podcast@ballarddesigns.net.
Now, on with the show.
It's episode 400.
Oh my God. So proud of us.
Yeah. I cannot believe it.
That's a lot of work.
It's pretty crazy.
How many years is that? 8?
Well, we started October 2016.
I can't count.
So yes, 8.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
That's like more than probably like 500 hours, 400 to 500 hours.
Unreal.
I was thinking
that's amazing.
back when I was thinking about how long it had been. We were all so different then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all didn't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
My kids were
In high school.
in high school. I'm an empty nester now. Y'all have 2 kids. Like, everything has changed in our lives.
It's so true.
Oh, it's weird.
We've been through COVID.
Oh, yeah, we had that. You can't pretend you're 30 anymore when you're an empty nester. And I don't like it. One bit.
By the way, we're here in like our original, where it all started.
Yes, with so much like equipment and technology.
I
We
know.
didn't have any of this.
No, we had some mics that I had no idea how to operate. Actually, I think we did record an episode before the episode that was number 1 that just didn't work.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. We did a whole thing. I was like, oh, y'all, sorry.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
That is how much I knew about making a podcast.
But you were so determined, and look where we are now. Your determination got you here.
Me. It has like been a really fun what did I say? 8-year adventure.
Yeah.
And that's because of y'all. So thanks for going on it with me.
I just think of how beautiful even my own home is because of this. Like the impact of having all of these wonderful people with this amazing advice, like has enriched me so much that I hope everyone listening feels the same.
Are you about to cry?
Maybe. Let's cry again. No, I mean, we have kids, but we also, like, our rooms have changed. Our homes have changed.
Yes.
Like, so much else has changed and evolved as it should, right? Even this room. I'm like, hopefully I've changed something in here in 8 years. I have new chairs.
You have a new table.
I have. Okay. Things have evolved. Oh, I think
But
it might be new chandelier.
great.
It
You
was a new
changed a lot,
chandelier.
but also a lot is the same. And I do think that is a testament to your style because there's a lot that you still have, right? And it still looks like it doesn't look like it was decorated 10 years ago, you know?
Well, that's a good point because you don't have to worry so much about trend, I don't think. I think people will get worried. Like, is this going to be out of style? It's like, if you love it, you love it. It's fine. Although I am trying to put more pattern into my house. I was telling you, I'm putting some new pattern drapery up in my living room I bought.
Exciting.
And everything in my house is so gray and neutral or tan or whatever. And now I'm getting
so
crazy.
bold.
I know, but when you describe it like that, it sounds cold and sad, and it isn't. So it is neutral,
nothing about your dad that is
Layered
cold
and
and sad.
textured.
Yeah.
But it goes to show, I think, too, where we're at. Because, like, the fact that you have seen the impact of what this pattern on pattern and this layering look, and you're like, I can do it. Like, and you're going to try it, and it's going to be great.
Yeah,
So
there are also some subtle ways to do it, I think, too. Like, often we see, like, floral on floral on floral, but then you can do it in a way that's, like, a little bit. It is a lot of pattern, but it's more subtle, which is, I assume, kind of more what the direction you're going.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll
I haven't
see.
seen
I'll
it.
do a before and after. I'm thinking I'll do a before and after put on my Instagram. I never put anything on Instagram, but that seems like a fun thing.
Okay, well, we did have a lot of ideas going into this episode about what should we talk about. And we kind of landed on just a little bit of reminiscing and then taking some questions. And then, of course, we have Karen back because you had to come back for 400.
Yeah, I thought it was all just about me.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm a
then
little
let's do that. No.
disappointed.
this is actually just an update on you.
Right.
So,
Here I
yes.
am, and new curtains. That's it. That's all I got. 8 years later.
I have to say, I was very surprised by the number of questions we got. We have a lot to
It
get
was
through.
great.
So we, I will say I did reach out to one of our first guests or our very first guest to come on the show today, but she was busy. She couldn't. But she did send me a message, so I'm going to play it for y'all.
Oh,
Do y'all remember who our first guest was?
I think I do.
Miss Ginny Brand.
Yes.
Who
Because we had to get our friends.
I know.
We know you. Come over here and talk to us.
I know. And we were all guinea pigs. We drank some wine because we didn't know what we were doing. I think there was a lot of giggling. I have to admit, I haven't listened to that episode. I bet it's not great. Not because Ginny isn't lovely, but just because, you have to start.
I did hear from a friend who said we need to do this. And I think maybe this is an idea for us, is to go and like listen to it live and record us like laughing at how the quality and
like a reaction video.
Make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's a good idea. I like that. We should try that. Okay. Well, I'm going to play Miss Ginny Branch's message for y'all.
Hey, y'all. Congratulations on your 400th episode. That is awesome. And it was such an honor to be your kind of beta tester for your first episode. I just love getting to follow y'all along and hear your amazing advice and the great guests you've had on there. It's just a wonderful thing that y'all have created. I can't be there today to join y'all, but I was going to just offer a couple little tips for styling shelves. It's a question I get asked a lot by my friends.
I was going to just add that we did ask for questions from our listeners. And so that one of the questions was about styling shelves. So I asked Ginny to answer this question for us.
Oh,
so that's what she's going to do.
I was going to just offer a couple little tips for styling shelves. It's a question I get asked a lot by my friends on ways to kind of make their shelves a little bit more thoughtful and designed. And there are a couple of things that I think about when I'm putting a shelf together for a photo shoot or in my own home. One, I like to think about the color palette first. Either look at the color of the room or kind of a color palette that you want to showcase in the shelves. It can be tricky if you're including a lot of your paperback or hardback books on this shelf, but it's your home and it's not a showroom, so no big deal. I also like to look at what I already have and what it is that I want to highlight. Is it books? Is it family photos, art, collections from your travels, nature collections, whatever it is? I try and kind of break it down into a few categories so it's thoughtful and curated, but not chaotic. Another thing that I think is great to do is just look at your shelves empty and kind of make shapes throughout, if that makes sense. Like cluster big groups and disperse smaller items in there so it just feels balanced. Like think of it in blocks almost. It's good to alternate books you can either have them in stacks on their side, you can have them stacked standing up. Sometimes if it's a really beautiful like coffee table book cover, I like to face it forward, almost kind of like a piece of art, and just showcase it like that. Another tip I think that's really helpful is if you take all of your photos, I think printing them all in black and white is really beautiful. And that way, either you can pick frames that are kind of all the same patina or finish, or if they're all kind of black and white, you have a little bit more freedom in varying the textures of the frames. Another pro tip I would say would be to think of things in levels, just varying the heights of things, the scale of things. Think of things you own that might be like a family heirloom. Like maybe it's a really beautiful silver trophy or a silver serving, pedestal bowl, and you can fill it with treasures, and display things that way. I just think there's so many different ways that you can tackle your shelves, but I think just going in, starting fresh with empty shelves, coming up with a plan, coming up with a color palette, and deciding what items you want to highlight, the textures. I think that will kind of help create a cohesive story to your shelves that will feel pleasing and meaningful. Hope y'all have a great day, and I look forward to more episodes. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Ginny's just the best.
Love Ginny.
Ginny's so great.
And I learned so much just watching her and our other stylists.
Oh my gosh, I learned so much from Ginny. And I feel like, the biggest takeaway there is like making those spaces, coming up with a color palette. Like those are key things that I think I learned from Ginny, like on sets.
That's a good point, Liz. Like the empty space in your bookshelf is almost as important as the filled space.
It is.
Yeah.
And, when you watch them work, they don't just throw it up there and then they're done and they're like, perfect. They take it down, put it together. They experiment. So have patience with yourself as you're doing this. Try things, look at them, stand back, take some things down, put some things up, move it around.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it right on the first try.
Yeah. And like they're also, they put it up, they take a picture, and then they look at the picture. So there's something about looking at it on a screen, not necessarily that this is something that you would do in your own home, but it does sort of help you demystify what they're doing, because it's very like, okay, move that a centimeter to the left. And it looks weird if it's not a centimeter to the left. There's something about it. So it is like a very precise art, whereas I think in our houses, like, we don't think about it that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, it's harder even for them, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
The other thing I learned on set is like always just think about everything else that you have in your house to pull from, and like just run to the other room and grab something that may have been in the same spot for a year or two, but grab it, throw it in someplace new, and you've totally refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we had a question in here. I'm skipping though, but it was about behind the scenes at the photo shoot.
Yes, we did. That's a good point. Yes, we
Where
did.
is it? Let's dovetail
It's
to
from
that.
Lisa. Okay, so that was someone who asked.
Oh, she had
Actually,
great
these are the same questions. Yes. So Lisa asked about styling vignettes, and she also said, behind the scenes of our photo shoots, where they take place, if a wall is being shown in the catalog is wallpapered, is it really wallpapered? To what extent do you modify the home you're shooting in to make it suit the needs of the catalog? Liz, do y'all want to talk about this one? Because
I'll talk about how we used to shoot, and then you can talk about how we shoot now.
Yeah, because it's exciting.
Yeah. So for years and years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, I don't know, a long time. Many years.
A long time.
Because the company's over 40 years old, we would shoot in houses in Atlanta and go into these big, giant, and they had to be empty houses. So you had to wait till something came on the market. You know, it was like, you just didn't ever really know where you were going to be. And we would cart truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of furniture and like every lamp we carry and every accessory and all the rugs. And so then you're staging that somewhere, usually in the basement. Painting rooms or wallpapering rooms. We didn't wallpaper a lot back then. And then you probably had 3 crews shooting at the same time. So each crew is a photographer and a photo assistant and a stylist, and then people helping them schlep things around. So just a whole lot of people. And it became sort of its own city, its own its own business. And it was just so much to manage and handle. So we decided to pivot and do something else. What did we do, Liz?
So, it's been probably about 5, almost 6 years now. We now shoot on sets in a photo studio that houses just about everything that we carry. And we build out these beautiful sets that feel like homes. And they really do. I mean, when you're get the
except
chance
they don't
to
have windows. Or ceilings.
No, but
or
they
walls.
don't have glass windows.
They don't. But the way that we style them,
like
sorry. I've been on set there where like somebody else has walked through and they were like, "Oh,
yes.
You guys shoot Ballard?" Like this, because they feel like real homes.
They do. Yeah.
And that's something that's really, really important to us. And it was a really great timing that we made that change, because COVID hit almost immediately after, and there's no way we could have gotten into houses here in Atlanta at that time.
True.
That's when Zara was sending fashion to models in their homes, and they were taking their own photos with their phones. Yeah. And that's how they were getting their clothes up online, you know? You couldn't get together and take pictures.
Yeah. So the timing of that, worked out for us. But the sets are really gorgeous, and we do everything we can to make it feel like real homes.
Yeah, we build them out more elaborately than any of the other brands do that shoot in the location where we shoot.
You're absolutely right.
So yes, if there is wallpaper in the photo, then there is wallpaper on the wall.
Okay. Now, to that point, they are putting a little bit more water in their paste so that it's easier to take up and down. So yes, we are really wallpapering, but we're kind of modifying it a little bit.
Now our outdoor, we shoot outdoor.
Yes. We do
in North
that
Carolina.
On location,
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know any of this world.
Yeah.
I know.
It's, I feel like before
I'm Lisa in this case.
There were pros and cons to both, right? Like, because we could go, any of our teams to the house because it was usually like 10, 30 minutes away.
Right.
And just see what was happening, make changes, talk to people. And that was such a wonderful team. Like they were their own family and
fantastic.
Great friendships
group.
with all of those people. But then there's also this other team of like 30 plus people that we still work with, and they do a great job too. It's just different.
Well, and the other thing too is that when you're shooting in a real house, there's limitations to what angles you can get and how you can show the details of, how to style out a certain product or use a certain product where, we were trying to fit 5 people and all the product and all the lights and all the equipment.
You can't get back far enough.
You
to
can't
put the camera.
You can't. I mean, they had to be huge rooms and they had to be huge houses.
Yeah.
So there were challenges with that. But,
and if you wanted, say, 3 windows in the room, you couldn't dictate anything like that. You just sort of had to wait until you got to the house and figure it out.
And hope that there was a room that was,
Yeah, and now we can say, we want a place to put a settee in a nook and and then we can build it.
Yeah.
Or we need a fireplace in the room so it gives us a lot more, I think, flexibility.
Yeah. Or like an entryway that connects to the, we can be really specific. A staircase.
Yeah. Okay, but there was that one time that we shot right next to Cardi B.
That's right.
That was funny. That was funny.
And they came next door.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And complained.
No, yeah. Offset came over and was like, you guys keep looking at our house, and we're like, no, we're really just trying to shoot.
Yeah, and
like
we don't know who you are.
Here. We don't. Oh, Susan.
Oh my gosh,
Susan did.
Our art director was not aware of who these people were.
She was not having it.
She's like, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Go away.
Oh. It was, that was comedy. That was comedy. I was there for that day. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, Cardi B, we love you.
Oh my gosh. Well, Lisa, hopefully that answered your question. We don't want to steal the magic, but we don't shoot in real houses anymore.
No, not anymore. But
we do those house tours.
That's
now
true.
on YouTube.
Yes.
You've been doing some amazing house tours.
Which those are fantastic.
And all the outdoor ones are actually really gorgeous, real homes that we do rent on location. So any of our outdoor photography is real.
So like one of the houses that we shot at too this time around for MA for March, spring, was a Stan Dixon house, and it was so pretty. Like you couldn't take a bad photo there. Everything was so gorgeous.
Was the one covered in ivy? Yeah, that was really pretty.
Yeah.
Goes to show good architecture.
Yeah,
great architecture matters. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, do we want to listen to some more voice memos from friends?
Oh, yes.
I have a few that I pulled. All right. Y'all tell me who this is.
Oh,
I might.
We have to guess.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're going to know who she is.
Hey there, How to Decorate podcast family. Can you believe it? The 400 up.
It's Rachel Cannon.
I knew that. I knew that was Rachel, our introvert.
What a great and exciting day for you. It's your favorite cantaloupe rule enforcer, Rachel Cannon, and I've had the privilege of being a guest 3 times on this amazing journey before, during, and after the pandemic. We started in Karen's dining room at her table, and then we moved to makeshift studios during lockdown, and finally, and most recently, I had the privilege of recording in the Ballard Designs studio in Atlanta, and each experience has been really just completely delightful. Ladies, there's something magical about how you make every guest feel like they're just chatting with their friends over coffee. And I felt like I had known all of you all of my life from the very first session. So this is not only a celebration of the podcast, but of the friendships that we've made along the way. And I just adore all of you. Since we're celebrating in the honor of, 400 episodes, I thought I would leave with a quick styling tip about vignettes. When you're styling a vignette, think like a photographer capturing a family portrait. So, in a portrait, you'd send the tallest people to the back. So tall guys in the back, middle height people in the middle. So like granddad's in the back, mom and dad are in the middle, and then the little kids are in the front. So the small accessories go towards the front. And you just try to layer in personality with texture, metallics. Those are like your pets photo bombing the family photo. And I think that's how you create a good vignette. So anyway, ladies and friends and fellow design enthusiasts, here's to 400 more episodes of making great design accessible, relatable, and most importantly, fun. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this incredible journey. And remember, keep those accessories larger than a cantaloupe. Cheers.
Oh my God.
Yay.
She took her number one takeaway from our first episode with her.
know.
Was
I
that
love
like a canon event?
Like,
That was a total aha
we
moment.
all watched our light bulbs be like, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was just a listener at that time, and I was like, oh,
Did you go around your house taking all your lemons?
I did.
You're just a lemon. You don't deserve to be an accessory. Or I have to pair you with two other things to make you the
we'll make
weight
you a collection.
of a
Give it
cantaloupe.
weight.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And I'm looking around your dining room, Karen. You're doing a great job.
Am I?
You are.
Thank you.
You are.
I saw you eyeing your bookshelves during one of those.
Yes, when
during-
Ginny was talking about the bookshelves, I was like, wait a minute.
Am I following the
What
rules?
am I doing? I don't know. I did group by color.
You nailed it. You've got horizontal, you've got vertical, you've got
Mhm.
space, texture, shapes. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
you nailed it.
Thanks.
You've learned something.
Yeah. Between Rachel and Ginny, I feel like, they
Yeah,
both
we're
are
golden.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
gotten some good styling tips.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to play one?
Yeah, you go, Taryn.
Oh,
These were
know.
a surprise. We don't know who brought whom.
You guys don't know who
do we
I
have to
reached
guess
out
this
to.
one too?
No, I think she
Introduces herself.
mhm.
Okay.
Do you remember Mark Williams and Nikki
Yeah.
Papadopoulos?
Yes.
I had
fun.
we had such a great time with them that Nikki and I kind of started just following each other on Instagram, and like, she's so funny. And again, I think I'm friends with her now. So I asked her if she'd great one. So here's hers.
Congratulations, Ballard babes, on your 400th episode. What an accomplishment. That's just incredible. I had such a wonderful time on your podcast a couple of years ago. I would love to do it again, just putting that out there to the universe. But I still enjoy listening to all of them. I think I'm missing a few, so I need to catch up. But I'm just so grateful for the work that you guys have done with this. It's such a joy, and I look forward to them being released every Tuesday. I think my one design tip is just make your space make you happy. Honestly, there's really no wrong way to do that. So as long as you feel safe and comfortable and relaxed in your home, what it looks like doesn't really matter. Just enjoy it. So congratulations, ladies. You've done a wonderful thing, and that is a huge accomplishment. I hope you're proud of yourselves, because we all appreciate the work you do.
So sweet.
That is
She's
sweet.
so sweet.
And what a sexy voice.
I was going to
Oh
say.
my
great
God.
I'm
Nikki
like,
sounded
hello.
sultry. It's great.
Yeah.
Hello, Ballard babes. I was like,
Well, and
Exciting.
I feel like their work, like her and Mark Williams' work
Oh,
too, is
they're
because
so
they're like
good.
the luxury homes they do are so.
Oh, they
I
are
feel like
kinda
they go with
They
her
do
voice.
They do have a little
they're
bit
all
of that vibe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so fantastic. And Nikki is so great. She slid into my DMs a couple times too.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
giving comments on did that person really say that? Because I just spit out some I'm like laughing so hard. So I know she's listening, and
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Well, and I thought it was such. I appreciate it. I asked for what, like, if you have your favorite design tip, and so I think too it goes back to how we all want to feel in our homes.
Yeah.
So I just loved that because it's so true. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter the trend. It really is about what makes your home feel good. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, we have had some really wonderful guests, and
so many.
yeah, there were a couple.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to have that person back. They're great.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise since I've been on the podcast has been just how nice our guests are.
Mhm.
And like the bigger the talent, the nicer the person. And that I'm continually surprised and impressed and kind of take that away every time. Like,
Yeah.
we just have such beautiful guests.
Very
We really-
gracious and open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like generous with their
With their knowledge.
insight. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last one.
Okay.
Because one of them I'm having trouble figuring out how to play. So here we go.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna have to guess who this is. I don't think she introduces herself.
Okay.
Or should I introduce her?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, this was like our fourth guest,
Oh,
and
I already have a hypothesis.
now I'm
did you
trying to
see my
remember who was
phone and see her
fourth.
name? Oh, okay. Who is it?
Erika Ward?
Yes. Good memory.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, here's what I remember about Erika Ward when she came on. Afterwards, she was like, "Can I see your house?" And I was like, "Oh, no."
Why?
Well, because there were just things that weren't done. Or, you get designers in here looking around.
Yeah.
That's
Pressure.
That's intimidation.
Yes. And I was in the middle of doing my guest room and I had like pulled lamps out of the basement and it was not good. And I was like, "Oh, these are lamps for the basement." I'm trying to like make excuses. But I just remember like, I had to walk her around the house and I was very intimidated.
But she's the sweetest person
She's
ever.
so nice. She was not judgy.
Yeah,
It wasn't
all
her,
me.
it was you.
It was
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
me.
Turn around and see it.
Yes.
It's time anyone comes in your home though,
Yeah.
and they like want to see more than the spaces you planned, and you're like,
No.
about that.
I feel like it's with photos. Whenever you see a photo of yourself, you're hypercritical of yourself, but
Right.
not others. And I feel like that's how your house is. When you look at your house, you're seeing like, oh, that kitchen counter is untidy, or I need to fix that little blemish on the ceiling or something, and no one else notices that
I
stuff.
do.
You notice that in other
Karen.
people's
I'm
houses?
judgy.
Oh, I don't.
I'm judgy McJudge a lot.
There's a lot going on. I'm too distracted.
I mean, I'm okay. I was gonna say no, I'm not, but yeah, I am.
At least you're honest about it. No one's inviting you over anymore. Sure, Karen, we can have dinner, but we're going out to eat.
Yeah.
You can't come over to my house.
Or it's at Karen's place. Well, yeah, they'll always put the pressure back on you.
Well, I'm a Taurus. I want you to come here. I don't really
there you
like to
go.
go
So
to other
it works out
places.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, let me play Erika's message.
Now I feel bad that I'm so judgy.
It's been quite a while since I was first on the How to Decorate podcast, and it was so much fun. I remember gathering together at Karen's house, which was a huge deal, period. Karen's house was so cozy, so warm, so beautiful. And we sat around the table chatting like old friends and, of course, talking about our favorite topics, design. Since then, I've been doing more of what I love and really delving into the podcast, and so excited to see so many of my colleagues, people who are new to me and folks who I've known for years, be a part of what Ballard Design has put together. And then further with the YouTube channel, with the home tours, love what I see happening there. I really enjoy the fact that this is a platform not just for a seasoned designer, but also design enthusiasts and people in general who just genuinely love to call home their favorite place. And also it's a place where they can make really intimate memories with their families and just have super fun times, even with their friends.
Isn't she lovely?
She's so sweet.
She's a great
so
host,
sweet.
See, and then you said your house. She just validated you right there.
Right? Well, it's all in your head, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're all, like you said, we give ourselves a little grace.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
All right. Maybe I
think-
was not as judgy as me.
All right, Taryn, I think you have a more?
I think so. But I feel like, can you send just one and listen to it once and then it disappears?
Oh, that might have happened. Okay.
Yeah, it might
broke it.
happen. That
Well,
was
we do
why
have
I
lots of
was-
questions to get to.
Yes, it was from Lauren Elaine just saying it was just a congratulations. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sweet.
Everyone's so kind.
I know. Well, again, we have great guests.
Well, I mean, the thing would
And
be like this would
listeners.
not be a thing without these people's
Mhm.
generosity.
yeah,
you know,
true. That's
and-
very true.
And if they were all like, "No, I'm not sharing my secrets,"
Mhm.
we wouldn't have 400 episodes. We'd
Yeah.
probably have 14 and be like, "All right, this is a bust."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, none of us knew, I think, going into it what it could be. And obviously, there are lots of podcasts out there, but I just don't know that I realized how much I would learn.
Mhm.
I knew I would enjoy talking about it,
Mhm.
but gosh, I've just learned so much, and it's been like amazing. I
Well,
don't know.
that's one of the questions.
Yes, that's true.
Like, what
Okay.
have you learned or your biggest
Mhm.
learning?
Yes, Rachel asked, "What are your biggest lessons?" Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's something that I was reflecting on it on the way here. I think that one of the things I thought before, maybe even joining Ballard, but definitely before the podcast, is that, okay, if I have good taste, then I'm going to pick out cute things and it's all going to go in my home and it's going to look good. And in reality, I don't really think that's how it works. I mean, maybe that can sometimes work out, but really I need a plan. And every designer comes in here and they always have a plan. And that is what sets apart their rooms from just a room with cute stuff in it. It has a plan. And they have not just decided like, okay, there's going to be a coffee table, but like, how big is a coffee table going to be? What is the right shape? What is the right finish? What is the right, everything for all the, not just something that's attractive, because there are dozens and dozens, hundreds of thousands of attractive options.
Right.
But what is going to be the best thing with the other things in the room? So it's not, I just think that like having the plan is the differentiator.
Yeah. You can't all be independent items that suddenly are magically going to be awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or like you fall in love with something at a sale and then try to cram that into your design.
I mean, sometimes that can work, but I think
but if it's part of your plan.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you still have to have those dimensions. Because to your, I'm currently shopping for a side table. And again, the plan was I have to know how big I can go. Because I know what textures I'm mixing it in. I have wooden headboards. I have white bedding. I'm going to do a blue accent. So I have a groundwork, but what is that piece that fits between? And it can be anything, quote unquote, but if it doesn't fit, it's never going to happen. So it is very much to your point. Having the plan so that you can take your time has been such a valuable one.
Or be ready to jump when you do find it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like now I'm ready for, if I pass an estate sale today and I can do a bit, I'm ready. I know my dimensions.
Do you keep a measuring tape in your purse?
Yes.
Do you?
Oh, no, I don't. I should.
Do you?
I have before. I currently do not have one, but I did used to keep one in my glove compartment.
We do have the Measure app on our phones, ladies.
Yes, that's true.
Don't forget that. And it works pretty well.
Yeah.
It does work pretty well.
And I would say most furniture stores, though, do have a measuring tape.
But like an estate sale.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come prepared.
What about y'all? What is your biggest takeaway or your lesson learned?
Some easy ones for me is I learned right away that white dove was my friend. So anytime anyone asks me about a Benjamin Moore, I say, there's a few whites, of course, I give from the podcast because I feel like whites are what a lot of people struggle with. And we talk about it from the catalog. That a lot of people love paint. And I do feel like I appreciate the fact that I now have like 5 whites that I'm always ready to be like, okay, there's a lot of factors. And so you need to swatch it, being able to talk to paint, very like, you need a big foam board. You need to paint it. You need to do different times of day. I just feel I just had a friend who their painters came yesterday and she did do white dove throughout because we were talking about the warmth she wanted in the space and her lighting. And I made her test it. I was like, if it's not, we can go more Chantilly lace and maybe a little more cooler. Anyway, and so she was very pleased that it was not. It was a good one. She was like, it's a little warm, but it's like good. And I was like, I know. Things I didn't know before the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think mine is going to go right after yours because it's about color.
Yeah.
And even though I know color and like understand color, understanding color within your space and then figuring out how to tie things around that to unify your space is something that I've totally learned through this podcast, and really just going through all of the books and the source images from all of our guests and really being inspired by our guests, and really kind of seeing images and like being like, oh, I love the feel of that room. Like Gail Davis did this show house bedroom, and it totally inspired me to wallpaper my bedroom and get drapes that are in this beautiful plum that match into it, that match into like what she was doing in her room. And it's been so exciting to kind of figure that out. Because I'm good 2-dimensionally. 3 dimensions, I don't know.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And color is a science.
It really is.
And it's not just blue. Nothing's ever just blue.
It's never. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, color's a big one.
Mine's so silly. It's little. So it just really stuck with me. And it was something that Suzanne Kassler told us when she was on here. And we were talking about, I'm obsessed with cords. If y'all haven't heard me talk about it.
You really, really are.
I have a cord obsession. I don't want to see a cord. Why do we have to look at them? Let's just hide them everywhere we possibly can.
But it's really hard and you're really good at it.
You're really good at it.
You are very good.
But she said, that they cut holes in rugs. And I'm like, even expensive rugs? Because Suzanne is not an inexpensive designer. She's fancy pants. And she's like, oh, yeah, you can, even a very expensive rug, you turn it over onto the back. You can cut just a little hole in the sort of the weave of the back of the rug. And you put your cord right through there and you run it all the way under, all the way across the room to the outlet. And I was like, magic.
Yeah.
Magic. You know?
Yeah. I've used that trick.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it either. I was like, wait,
What,
that's
you
how
do
you
that?
You know, she probably buys like $50,000-$100,000 rugs.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I'm sure her customers would never think, oh, you cut a hole in it. But it doesn't I mean, you can easily and you would never ever see it. You would never see that.
Right.
I mean, don't go in there with a
Good
saw.
quality hand.
But
It's really like a slit, right? Like it's
a little slit in the back, just enough to get through there.
Yeah.
And you can do it with natural fibers. Like I would think most rugs you could do it with. So I thought that was a great tip and I loved it.
And you do it.
And I love
that's
cords.
good. That is
a good one.
That's a quality tip.
Yeah. I kind of forgot
All
about
right.
that one, but that's a good one.
See?
And others that I live by now that are like totally true is something living in a room. Like again, if you can get a plant in there.
Oh yeah, you're a
or
plant lady now.
Well, I'm a little too hard, but it is winter, so there's a lot of extras.
You've got a greenhouse.
I am a plant lady, so I guess I took that one way too hard. And the second one is, but I tell people again, if they need hide in a corner, I'm like you should think about a plant stand with a beautiful plant and or a tree. Like, can you get something? And obviously, I love real, but I understand we don't all love dealing with real and or we don't live there full time. So yes, I do think something living, and something brown.
Like brown
in every
wood.
space. We always talk about
Brown
that now.
wood. Okay.
Yes, that was one that I take away now when I'm investigating and looking at a space. There's that warmth and depth that wood brings, something brown in the space. And so it's something I tell people too when they're like, how do, I'm like,
what do I need?
Yeah. And so that one I usually like, we need something with some patina or wood or something to show that kind of natural. Yeah.
So those are, Ashley Whitaker kind of said the same thing, but different. She said something, what did she say? It was like something crusty.
Yeah.
Kind of,
it can't all be new.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so one note if it's a room is just, I just bought all this and here it is.
Well, I think Ashley was the one who, remember when you got those chairs from the antique market in France and you were going to paint the frame and she was like,
no, don't do it. And they're brown.
Yeah.
Right over
and they
there.
look great.
I love them. Yeah. No, I can attest to that because I just, not too long ago, we got a house in St. Pete and Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida. I think I told y'all I was lonely and I needed friends and y'all reached out. It was very sweet. Thank you. But, I had to decorate it fast. And I think, designers often have to decorate things fast. And so they're doing whole homes. And it just made me realize, gosh, I cannot get everything from Ballard. It's going to look like a Ballard catalog. And I don't want everything to be new because it's going to look like I just went into the store, filled up a truck and brought it over. And so I was very intentional about every room having something old or something I got at, and a flea market or an antique store, it doesn't have to be something big. It could be a little accessory or a little plant stand, $20 or $40 here and there, a lamp or something. But, it just adds a little touch of character and makes it feel
a bit of personality.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, because you already mentioned it, someone on Instagram said, an English summer asked, are indoor faux plants or flowers ever okay? So what's your take on that, Taryn, since you brought up flowers?
Obviously, yes. I mean, absolutely.
Yes, they're okay.
Yeah. I think especially in a room that like your guest room or something.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to go in there and water your orchid every day or every 2 weeks, whatever it is,
Yeah.
It really does matter on your lighting because if it's not going to live, you're just going to you're going to be frustrated. So why
like beating your head up against a wall?
Again, you're trying to make your home joyful and comfortable. So like if it's something that adds value, there's good lighting, a plant's going to like it. But like if it's not, that is where faux is great.
Yeah.
And there's so many great faux. I mean, we've all seen bad faux and you've seen great faux. So
and you can do things like stems. It doesn't have to be a fake fern.
Right.
And I also love the Carmen Johnston trick where she does the faux and the real together.
Yes, mixing it.
That is
because you can keep your faux all the time and then just pull out some cut things.
That's a great,
Yeah.
So yes.
Like this.
Yeah.
Just sort of.
Oh gosh, but they do have those pots that self-water, which is nice if you travel a lot.
Yeah.
And they have some good looking ones. And so if you are worried you're going to kill your tree, get one of those pots that does the self-watering for you so you're not as susceptible to death.
Okay, I will say, when I went to James Farmer's house, all of his exterior pots are self-watering.
Like a drip line?
He has drip lines.
Yeah, you got to have a drip line. And that's easy to get someone, if you don't know how to do it yourself, it's easy to get someone to come and do that. Okay. Especially if you have any kind of outdoor water system, like an irrigation system, they can just tap into that. Or they can just use a drip line and then take a little, you can do it yourself if you're handy. Like, you can watch really YouTube and do it. I'm not handy. And neither's my husband. So we tried it and then we brought in a professional.
Yeah. And dried is also an option. Just don't forget dried stuff too. Because if you're against faux, dried are also, they make so many beautiful dried things that
like
you can.
Boxwood and cypress.
I love preserved boxwood. Yeah.
And like that thing, what is that, a cypress something?
Yeah, that's a little cypress.
I've had that like 5 years. It looks so good.
Yeah.
I think I'm supposed to be misting it with water, but I never have.
It doesn't look dusty.
That is a hard
dusty
pass.
Would be the
dusty.
Yeah.
But real plants are dusty too.
That is true.
I have to take the fiddle leaves out every year and I mean,
clean them.
you gotta wash them off. I gotta do every leaf. Yeah. So yes, but don't let your plants get dusty. Faux or real.
Okay, we did get a question. Two people asked this actually, and it's sort of an unhinged question because it's going to be extremely hard for all of you to ask.
Unhinged.
What is your favorite Ballard Designs product?
Oh.
How could we possibly answer that question?
Karen's been there too long to pick one.
I know. I was actually thinking about it. I'm like, this is hard. I don't know. Any thoughts?
I mean, the thing that we use every day is our curved banquette. And I remember when I first joined the podcast, I was like, I got this thing and it's the big old whale. And I don't know if it's going to work. And I can't live without it. I can't live without it. It's so great.
Do you use it for dining?
Yeah. So it's up against a 60-inch dining table. And it's just, I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Everybody wants to sit there. It makes our dining room feel like a cafe, and it's a cozy place to, do the crossword puzzle or, hang out or read or whatever as well, which I wouldn't hang out and read in my dining room other ways.
No, I want one.
Yeah. It's great.
I mean, wouldn't it be cute right there?
It would be totally cute right there.
You sold Karen.
Doesn't take much. And you can get a pattern that ties in from your new drapery and pulls that into
pattern?
this room.
What?
I know.
Actually, I think I probably should do a pattern. I regret not doing a pattern on my banquette, I will say.
You did?
Kinda. It just, it needs to be professionally cleaned, but it's fine.
Well, especially with children.
Yeah.
They're
not allowed to eat on it, but
still living.
But they still are around it. Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, we all have so much Ballard in our homes.
Yeah.
I really like my dining table from Ballard.
Oh, the Miles Red one.
Yeah.
That one, we're bringing it back.
I know. You all can still have it.
Yeah. It's like this glossy black.
It's just so impactful. Yeah. But then I was thinking the same. I was like, I love my sofa. I love my bed. I love my side table.
I love my bed.
I love my coffee table.
Yeah.
Okay, rugs.
Table. Oh, God, I love my rug.
Not a rug.
I do love the one that I bought because you bought it.
Yeah.
Wait, the Tamiz? What?
Mazinda.
I have that one upstairs.
Do you really?
Oh, I love that one.
Do you have a Mazinda?
No, I didn't get it in time.
I will say there are people who then walked into our home. Like, I feel like there were multiple people at work who were like, you got it? I didn't get it in time.
I didn't get it in time.
You got to pounce. You got to pounce.
So good. Yeah. And I will say, I think I was skeptical before buying a hand-knotted rug because they are very expensive.
Right.
But every single designer we had here on the podcast would talk about that's the way to go, period,
quality.
Like hand-knotted rug. And they are right. I have been able to get everything out. It cleans so easily. It's so soft. Like it just...
They're going to last you forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's just penny wise and pound foolish, I think, to buy cheap rugs.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a believer in that now.
Yeah, you spill things. I mean, I'm not talking about a performance rug or something like that. That's, it's an inexpensive rug that's not a luxurious rug, right? But these are This is something you're going to put in your living room and sit on and touch it and walk barefoot on it, and your children are going to crawl on it, and you're going to have it for 40 years or 80 years, you know. It's, what is that like cost per wear when you think about clothing? So it's like that. It's like you're really getting your dollar's worth.
Yeah.
On those.
Well, plus it's not going into a landfill. It's being passed. It's like like they become a generational item if they're made well.
And you move it room to room.
Yeah, and
I do that all the time. I think that makes a whole new, like, oh, this is a neutral rug. I'm moving that room that's got color. I move that colorful rug into this neutral room, and then suddenly it's like, oh, a whole new
You're ready to
vibe.
play. Yeah.
I have our antelope rug, and I've moved it, I think, to every single room.
I have that rug, and I love that rug.
The best.
I have it in a chocolate brown, which we don't carry anymore. Oh, and I have the tanny colored runner upstairs, and I love it.
It's so good.
It's because animal print's a neutral that like works.
And the pattern. The pattern is forgiving.
It is forgiving.
Yeah. And the wool. Actually, probably the wool is the best thing about it. Just it being 100% wool.
Yeah. A wool rug is a good investment.
Yeah.
Forever.
Do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially with kids, people feel like it doesn't make sense to buy something expensive because it will get ruined. But I actually feel like the fact that I bought the expensive rug means that it won't get ruined. Because do you feel this way about that rug? I feel like everything comes out of it.
Oh, okay.
It has really stood up. I mean, my dog throwing up on it, kids stuff.
Yes.
Just like all the terrible things that you know that happen, and it all comes out. And like, and I will say, probably pre-podcast, I would have never bought a patterned rug. That would have felt really scary. And now I understand the versatility of a patterned rug. Like right now, maybe you're pulling out the blue, but in 10 years, maybe you want to pull out the yellow. And if you get something with pattern and color, you can...
It can go any which way. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wish that about upholstery. I wish I had thought that earlier because I went safe and neutral. And I wish I had figured some sort of pattern because it would have hidden more. Like, it's nice that it's...
test.
I know.
Yeah, the meatball test.
The meatball test came up after.
Yeah,
I know,
that's true.
Yeah, I have all solid sofas, I think.
But your kids are grown now, so I feel like it's a little bit easier.
But like I'm looking right
What I had
now.
when they were little too.
Oh, you did?
But you have a patterned chair in the other room.
Yes, zebra.
Yes. And what is that chair?
That's the Larkin swivel
thank
glider,
you.
which I love.
I can see your Larkin. I have a Larkin. Love her. But yeah, you have a zebra print, and it's just enough again to like semi. You know.
But if you held up that fabric, people would be like, "What? Zebra? It's crazy because it's a big scale."
Yeah.
But I put it on that chair, and it's really the only pattern in the room, and it's like nothing in there. It's literally hardly anything.
Totally
It's hardly even eye catching.
And that was a performance fabric too.
Hardly even eye catching.
Well, my point is like, you know, when you're looking at a fabric, don't be like once you get it on an item, it's totally different and sitting in the room in its place.
Yeah.
It's not going to like slap you in the face when you walk in. It's just going to sit there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just sit there and be a good girl.
Yeah.
The Larkin is a good
here's
one.
another good one.
Larkin's a great one too. I did just think of that.
It's so comfortable.
I used it as a nursery chair, and now
my
it's just
kids
a
grew up in that chair and
so
swivel to
comfy.
watch TV and then talk to the family or eat dinner.
Good one.
Or it's
She got classic lines too.
Yeah.
I do love our bed, the bed that we both have.
What bed do you have?
Caroline, we don't have the same house.
Oh, you have the channel bag brie?
Yeah, the channel bag brie bed.
Yeah.
But partially, I
beautiful.
think it's just having a fully upholstered bed
Love
and not just a headboard.
Luxurious.
Oh my God, amazing.
I will say that felt adult.
Yeah.
It felt adult to get a fully upholstered bed, and I do.
It feels like when you go to the nicest hotel and you sink
But you
into
live
that
there.
bed. Yes, but you live there. Don't you deserve to have a house that feels at least like a hotel?
The
Come
things
on.
I have saved up for and like thought about, and yes, those investment pieces I have not regretted them. They have always been like, I now get to live the way I want it. Like Vern Yip said with his vacation
That's
at
what
home.
I was just thinking
Literally.
about Vern Yip.
You did?
Yeah.
Great lesson.
It
He's
was.
also lovely. We have him back. We have all these people back.
And his book's so great.
We have all 400. We'll just have all 400 back. And then that'll be the next 400 episodes.
Start at the beginning. Good plan. Let's go.
Man, 8 years from now,
I know.
how old will you be?
Whoa.
I'm not sharing that.
I'll be my walker.
I wish we had looked up what was like trending then to now. It'd be funny to see what we had.
Oh, you mean like what the trends were?
Yeah.
when we started.
We can do that next week.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to
We'll do
revisit
that for
another
our
time.
own. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next one that I thought was kind of loved was what is your favorite design book? That's from Jamie. Any things jump out at y'all? I always revisit Ashley Whitaker's book and Markham Roberts. Those two are my idols, and anytime we're looking for inspiration for the catalog, I'm like, those are my go-tos. I'm gonna go look in there, and they always have something that I like.
But this is really tough because
it's a hard one. Yeah.
I'm looking around.
I took photos of my books this morning just to make sure I correct. So you go ahead.
Okay. So the one that comes top of mind is David Jimenez.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That book is so beautiful. And just the way that he lives with art and drapery. And it's just these really gorgeous tonal rooms that are just so filled with life and art. And those are fantastic. And then the one book that I always share whenever I have friends that come over. So we do a brunch and books with artists, and we all bring our favorite art books. And the one that I always bust out is Rowdy Meadow, which is Peter Penoyer's.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that book.
I love the name.
It was all about
good.
one mansion thing.
Basically, everything
it's
is
one property.
Custom made.
Wow.
It's wild.
And it's on these principles of Czech cubism. I mean, it's just outrageous. It is such a beautiful place. So that's one that I'm always just shoving under people's noses, saying you need to look at this, and telling people no, look at this ceiling. This is just a ceiling, and the way that the light plays off of it is just. Oh my gosh, everybody.
Yeah,
go get it.
Everybody.
Good for I forgot about that one.
Oh.
About you, Taryn?
Some favorites, and again, they were all good. So much, but
oh my God,
yeah. Summer Thornton's I loved because you remember all the color. Yes, Katie Ritter's.
Yes.
There was also the editor of Southern Living with the two H names.
Haskell Harris.
Yeah, Haskell Harris. Remember with her striped book? That was so good.
House Romantics, I think it's called.
And then
listen, we're keeping these seriously on our coffee tables and everywhere. I have Wonderland at
that one's so
notice.
good. Yeah.
The English Houses by Ben.
Gosh, yes. Ben Pentreath.
That's another one. Haskell Harris hers was the house. The House Romantic?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to give the name to it because it was, and then David Netto's book was
the one that was in LA, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it was in LA. Yeah.
But he had, the spaces were so good. Again, nothing of my style, but I think that's
so stylish. Though.
Yeah.
Just everything about him.
Well, his look you just had great taste and went shopping. And you know that he didn't. He does have great taste and go shopping, but he also has a plan, and he's way more talented than anyone. But
it doesn't look
so
decorated.
Yeah.
I love those spaces.
Stunning.
I was going to say Katie Ritter because it's just so unlike me. A lot of color and embellishment and fancy little details. It's fun to see something that you wouldn't normally do and challenge you a little bit to get outside your comfort zone.
She has the most amazing imagination. We're not just going to upholster that headboard. We're going to have someone hand embroider a floral pattern on it. You know what I mean? Her craftsman details are so creative. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's something this has really created too, is just realizing the creative elements that people have put in to make these spaces so special and what you can take away from that has been, for me, again, putting up trim, grosgrain trim around my dining room, and people are still amazed, and I'm like, no, they're all doing it. They did it, so I did it, and you can do it for $10.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, what did you say your favorites?
I said Ashley Whitaker and Markham Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are but every single one that y'all mentioned, I also love. Katie Ritter's has also the one that she and Peter Penoyer of their house. House in the Country, I think it's called. And that one's also great. I mean,
I don't have that one yet.
I could just name them for a whole episode with just great books. But so,
Vern Yip's Vacation at Home again. Like if you're looking for like straight tips and tricks,
right?
Yeah,
very practical advice.
Also, like
we've done so many good practical books too. If you're really starting out,
Tom Shearer also is like I love his.
The Architects and Gil Schafer's,
and he's like Gil Schafer.
I built my house around Gil Schafer's books.
Right.
So.
I love talking about these books again because, like, as you're mentioning them, I'm like, okay, yeah, that one's on the coffee table. That one's on the side table. That one's in the living room. That one's in the living room next to the TV. Like, I've got them all peppered
everywhere.
And these are all my favorites too.
Unlike my algorithm, it keeps like I can enjoy it without seeing something that I'm like, get out of here.
Right.
All right, here's another one that I thought was fun. I mean, we were not going to be able to get to all these questions, so I'm sorry to anyone who's not getting theirs answered. But
we'll come to your house and answer it for you there.
Yeah, I'll make you a PowerPoint.
What is your favorite room to decorate? This was from
That's like flavor of the month.
Isn't that a hard one? I'm like,
For me, I feel like the most that I've done from scratch, planned, have been bedrooms. And I think because of that, I've enjoyed them a lot because the bedding plus the art plus the actual furniture. I like the bedding element.
See, I never do the bedding element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never do pattern or anything on a bed. So I never even think about that as like a place to have fun.
You never do pattern in the bed?
Oh my gosh, there's so many layers to a bed.
Yeah.
Between the sheets and the duvets and the blankets and the pillows.
No.
Yeah. I like the bedrooms too because because they're just by definition enclosed. I feel like I can be a little bit more like fun in there.
Yeah,
you know
some
what I
people
mean?
do powder
they're their own little
bathrooms. You
world.
feel safe because they're just one space.
Right.
It
They don't
doesn't
have to connect at all, which is really fun. You can like be really off the wall. Not that I've done anything that crazy, but like
it doesn't have to be cohesive with the whole house.
Exactly.
It can be a theme.
Yeah.
You can do puppy dog wallpaper and
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No. I like a living space.
Okay.
And I think I like it. I was thinking about it as you were saying that. I think I like it because there are a lot of different kinds of elements you can put in there and a lot of different heights you can work with. And you can have a lot of, bigger things and little things and different nooks and crannies of it. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Well, it is the most practical. I feel like it's the one you're going to get the payoff to decorate it. So that is fun too.
True, because people see it.
Yeah.
And it's probably the one you spend
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm moving all around the house. It all just depends on
everything.
It just depends on what's bugging me right now or like where my attention is or like what room I want to sit in more often. Right?
Yeah.
So again, like I'm at my dining table a lot. So I really want to paint that room now. Or, or I'll sit in the dining room and or in the living room and be like, you know what? I like the structure of this room, but maybe I need to change it up or like those kind of things. So I'm all over the place.
Do you guys repaint a lot?
I kind of have repainted a little bit, but.
So when we moved into our house, we painted the entire house Sherwin-Williams Greek key. Greek Villa.
Yeah.
And it's a really lovely warm white. We did the ceilings, we did the walls, everything because when we moved in, when we bought the house, every room was a different weird pastel.
Yeah.
And I needed to figure out what the house was. And so now we're layering in colors. So we're going room by room.
Yeah. I just I painted that TV room in the basement, but
because you started out like a mauvey color and went black, or did you start out black and went mauve?
I started black and went to mauve. Yeah, and then the basement I started green. I painted green, and then I painted it also mauve.
Well, that's interesting because so you didn't get it right the first time, and you were redo.
Yeah.
I was really impressed that you went from green to the mauve in the basement. And it's lovely. It's so beautiful. And doesn't feel like a basement color, which is great. But I'm really super impressed that you repainted the bookcases.
It's nice of you to say impressed. I say crazy because that was a ridiculous thing to do. I had just painted it green.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but you know.
But I am happy with it. I'm much happier with the pink than the green.
So you got it finished and you were just like, this isn't right. Doesn't feel good.
I lived with it for probably a year and a half. And then just being down there every day, I initially painted it not planning to work down there. But then moving my desk and everything down there, it was just too sad. And we had Colleen Simmons on the podcast, and she was talking about setting plaster was her favorite room to paint, like basements and dark rooms. And I was like, oh, I'm in one of those. So then I tested it, and then one weekend was like, I'm going to paint the whole thing. And
you did it all in a weekend, which that was like super bonkers.
I've decided that this is both my superpower and my fatal flaw, is thinking that I can do it myself. Because then everyone in my family is like, you are annoying right now and having to drop everything in your life to paint this basement. But anyway, it looks good.
Did you just lock your kids out and say, like, there's cheese upstairs?
Basically, I'm like, you're going to have to take the kids this weekend because I'm painting. Or I would like put the kids to bed and then paint until like 2 a.m. and then be miserable.
And what's the name of this paint?
It's called Setting Plaster.
Setting
Ball, like pinky color.
It's got like it's a light pink.
Yeah.
Pretty.
It's very pretty.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is from Anne, and she says, dream guest that you haven't yet interviewed. I feel like we all have the same one, right? I know who mine is.
Who is it, Martha? Oh, Ina Garden. Ina, duh.
I mean, Martha would be great too.
Martha too would be really clear.
But they broke up.
I know.
They did.
We have to. Maybe we could
get them both come and spill the tea on each other. Not at the same time.
Separately. I would be happy with either.
Yeah, I know.
That would be good.
I've emailed Ina's someone tangential to Ina like 5 times.
Nothing.
I've emailed her book publisher. I've emailed her website. I've tried everything.
You're after it.
This is such a hard question because I feel like we've been so lucky to get.
Yeah,
we've gotten the
talent.
best
Really
of the best, like top talents.
That is true.
I mean, remember who came on and was like designing yachts, and I was like,
oh yes, I remember that.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Oh gosh, he's gonna come to me later.
Multi-million-dollar yacht designer.
And I was like, hi. You're like,
practical tips do you have for us?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because at that point, the small spaces aren't even small spaces.
So yeah,
we've had some really
heavy hitters.
I mean, and then
I remember interviewing Miles the first time. I was totally starstruck. I don't even know. I feel like I was just blabbering the whole time. Like,
and Bunny, and Suzanne.
So great.
Like the first time I met all of them, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just to touch something you did. You're so amazing.
Yeah. We've had really good people. Ina would definitely be a dream though.
Ina's, we've joked about that from the beginning. We want Ina, and we're going to talk hosting and food. It's going to be not as related. It's going to be probably food related, but
yes.
I
was really hoping that because she was doing her memoir, maybe she was more open to interviews.
Right.
But,
is she aware it's our 400th episode? Maybe if you call her.
I know, yeah.
Have you DM'd her? Have you slid up in her DMs?
I mean, I'm definitely not getting in there, but I've tried. If anyone has any sort of 6 degrees of separation to Ina,
we should put it on our vision board. Melanie Turner taught us how to make those. Maybe we make a vision board.
That's a great
Put Ina on it.
I was starstruck by Melanie Turner because I was too. Definitely been pinning her stuff to my also bulletin board for a long time.
And maybe I
vision board.
All right, let's get that vision board because I remember that episode because I was just a listener on that one and I was like, I need to make a vision board.
Again, she was
we need a vision board with just dozens of pictures of Ina.
Yes,
only Ina. Yes, and her food, like her roasted chicken.
Yeah. I mean, she can bring Jeffrey.
She of course can bring Jeffrey.
Of course, she travels without Jeffrey?
I don't know.
Blasphemy.
Any top guests? I mean, gosh, we've had so many. I feel like we just named some of them.
I can't. I went through every one of our pages on the How to Decorate podcast, and I literally was like, I'm not making this list of favorite guests.
It would just be a list of 400 people.
Yeah, right. It was. I started making it, and I was literally like, ooh. Because I've had some crushes that have where all of a sudden I didn't know about them, too much about them. And then I saw their work and I literally was like, I found it everywhere. Lil McKenna. I thought she was, I just realized I loved her work without knowing it was her work. It was one of those that like, as soon as I saw, I was like, oh my God, no, we are.
I love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know when you're like, we are, like, I want to be you. You're stylistically.
Can you be my best friend?
Yeah.
She's
that
not,
work out?
but we aren't best friends, but like, there's still time.
Yeah.
She can come back.
Have her
We
back
can
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about high impact decorating tips? Budget, low cost, and high impact.
I think
low budget, high cost. I mean, high impact.
Patterned drapery on every window in the room. And even in the adjacent room. Like I just did that at my St. Pete house, and I did that very bold green E-cut on 6 windows, and it just set the stage for the whole place. So not me, and I love it. And it was easy.
Nice.
It's just so easy.
That is true, Karen, because you really went colorful in your St. Pete house. Was that like just so freeing and fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
I was unfamiliar, I guess. It was very unfamiliar, but it was so fun because now when I shop, I'll be like, oh, that's white. That'll go in Atlanta. Oh, that's hot pink. That'll go in Florida.
You get to flex both muscles. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so great.
I was going to say lamps. Lamps, figure out getting your lighting right is so wildly, will change a space and how you feel so quickly that if someone turns on an overhead light, I like lose my mind now. So if you are realizing something isn't right in your room, try your lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2700 Kelvin. Get your light bulbs right.
Dimmers.
And dim them.
Yes.
Get like those 4-watt LEDs or whatever they are.
Just get your more lighting. Yeah.
And with lower wattage.
Mine is an entryway. So I don't have an entry to my house. You walk in right into the living room, and we had Marie Flanagan on, and she was like, you know what? You need to make your porch your entryway then.
Oh.
And it was a game changer. So I now decorate my porch, and it's super welcoming. I have, I use the same principles that I use in my house on my porch and just make sure people can, walk through. But that's a game changer just for how I walk into my home and how I feel walking into my home.
It welcomes you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
awesome.
lovely.
That's sweet.
That's a good one.
Can I plug my rug pad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, you have
keep plugging that rug
Oh
pad.
my gosh.
I haven't
You
talked
just
about
got
my
an
rug
email
pad.
the other day about your rug pad again.
Not the memory foam one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that one. I thought you had a new one for outdoors.
No, I just love my rug pad. That's my answer. I wouldn't necessarily I don't know. I feel like the low cost thing is a tricky thing for me because I am more the type to like I want to have a plan and buy the thing that I want one time. And so a lot of the things I feel like have made the most impact are things that I saved for. So I feel like it's a tricky one,
The other one,
but I will say light bulbs and dimmers. Yeah, that's
we always say is paint. Like paint.
Yeah.
that is
Go
true.
for it.
Paint changes a space.
Go for it.
Go for it. You can. It's a low cost, high reward.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, repainting my basement from
Yes.
green to
See?
pink was
You already said it. Yeah.
$150, but like completely changed the way it looked. So yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thanks for the assist. All right. Well, I think that is all we have time for. But thank you all.
So fun.
This is really fun. Yay!
Thank you to all of our amazing listeners for being here and listening so that we can keep doing this and bringing you great conversations.
Yeah, and asking questions.
And thanks to the 3 of y'all. This has been so fun. And I've loved getting to have friendships with y'all too. I feel like we're all...
So our houses can all meld to be the same.
No, they're so different.
But they're
I know,
right.
Isn't that the funny thing? Yeah.
I know.
That's the fun thing. No, thank you, Caroline.
Yeah. I'm happy. I feel so grateful to have the podcast. So it's been such a fun adventure.
Absolutely.
Well, cheers.
Yay.
Cheers.
To happy decorating.
Yay.
Happy decorating.
I know we never say that anymore. And that's our show. You can find all of the show notes on our blog, howtodecorate.com/podcast.
To send in a decorating dilemma, email your questions to podcast@ballarddesigns.net so we can help you with your space.
And of course, be sure to follow us on social media at Ballard Designs.
Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Until next time, happy
Happy
decorating.